Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Density Functional Theory series. In our previous lecture, we discussed the many-body problem and saw why solving the Schrödinger equation for real materials is an enormous challenge. We also introduced the Born-Oppenheimer Approximation, which allows us to separate the motion of electrons and nuclei. Today, we will study one of the most important milestones in the history of electronic structure theory, the Hartree Approximation. This was the first practical attempt to solve the many-electron problem and introduce the concept of self-consistency, an idea that remains central to modern computational packages. By the end of this lecture, you will understand how Hartree transformed an impossible many-electron problem into a set of tractable one-electron equations. Let's begin with the complete Hamiltonian of a material. As you can see on the slide, the Hamiltonian contains several contributions. There is the kinetic energy of the nuclei, the kinetic energy of the electrons, the attractive interaction between electrons and nuclei, the repulsive interaction between electrons, and finally the repulsive interaction between the nuclei themselves. In principle, this Hamiltonian contains all the physics required to describe a material. The problem, however, is that every electron interacts with every other electron. This coupling makes the Schrödinger equation extraordinarily difficult to solve. For a real solid containing an enormous number of particles, obtaining an exact solution becomes practically impossible. This is the many-body problem that has challenged physicists for decades. Fortunately, nature provides us with an important simplification. Nuclei are much heavier than electrons and therefore move much more slowly. Because of this large difference in mass and timescale, we can treat the nuclei as essentially fixed while solving for the electronic motion. Mathematically, this allows us to separate the total wave function into an electronic part and a nuclear part. The electronic wave function describes how the electrons move for a given arrangement of nuclei, while the nuclear wave function describes the motion of the nuclei themselves. As a result, the electronic problem becomes significantly simpler. The nucleus-nucleus interaction becomes a constant energy contribution, and the nuclear kinetic energy is excluded from the electronic equation. However, one major difficulty still remains. Even after applying the Born-Oppenheimer approximation, electrons still interact with one another through Coulomb repulsion. This electron-electron interaction is the true source of complexity in electronic structure calculations. Think about it this way. If one electron moves, the electrostatic environment experienced by all the other electrons changes as well. Therefore, the motion of every electron depends on the motion of every other electron. The number of such interactions grows extremely rapidly as the number of electrons increases. For real materials, solving all these interactions exactly is simply impossible. Can we somehow avoid treating every electron-electron interaction explicitly? Hartree proposed a remarkably simple but powerful idea. Instead of considering every electron interacting with every other electron individually, he suggested replacing all these interactions with an average electrostatic field. In other words, each electron moves in the average field generated by all the other electrons. This transforms the complicated many-electron problem into a collection of independent one-electron problems. The average electrostatic field created by the electron density is known as the Hartree potential. This is called a mean field approximation because each electron experiences only the average effect of the others. To implement this idea mathematically, Hartree assumed that the total many-electron wave function can be written as a simple product of one-electron orbitals. This means that each electron is treated as moving independently in the average field. Using this approximation, we obtain the Hartree equations shown on the slide. The first term represents the kinetic energy of an electron. The second term represents the attraction between the electron and the nuclei. The third term is the Hartree potential, which accounts for the average electrostatic effect of all the other electrons. An important point to notice is that the Hartree potential depends on the electron density, and the electron density itself is constructed from the orbitals obtained by solving the Hartree equations. This creates a circular dependence that must be solved iteratively. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in electronic structure theory, the self-consistent field, or SCF cycle. We begin with an initial guess for the electron density. Using this density, we calculate the Hartree potential. Next, we solve the Hartree equations to obtain a new set of orbitals. These orbitals generate a new electron density. We then compare the new density with the previous one. If the difference is still significant, we repeat the entire procedure. Again and again, the density and potential are updated until they become consistent with one another. At this point, the calculation is said to have converged. The resulting density, potential, and energies constitute a self-consistent solution. This iterative procedure is the foundation of nearly all modern electronic structure methods, including Hartree-Fock theory and density functional theory. Although Hartree theory was revolutionary, it is not the complete solution. One major limitation is that the Hartree wave function does not satisfy the antisymmetry requirement for electrons. Electrons are fermions, and their wave function must change sign when two electrons are exchanged. Hartree's product wave function does not enforce this condition. As a result, the Pauli exclusion principle is not properly incorporated. Another limitation is the absence of exchange interaction. Quantum mechanics predicts that identical electrons influence one another through exchange effects, but these effects are missing in Hartree theory. Hartree theory also suffers from self-interaction error, where an electron incorrectly interacts with its own charge density. Finally, electron correlation effects are completely neglected. Therefore, while Hartree provides an excellent conceptual framework, it is not sufficiently accurate for quantitative predictions. So how do we fix these shortcomings? The answer is Hartree-Fock theory. Instead of using a simple product of orbitals, Hartree-Fock constructs the wave function using a Slater determinant. This automatically satisfies the anti-symmetry requirement of quantum mechanics and correctly incorporates the Pauli exclusion principle. Hartree-Fock also introduces exchange interactions, providing a much more realistic description of electrons. Historically, Hartree-Fock represented a major step forward and laid the foundation for many modern electronic structure methods. In our next lecture, we will study the Slater determinant, exchange interaction, and the Hartree-Fock equations in detail. If you found this lecture useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Density Functional Theory series.